Daisy was no ordinary dog. She was a tiny, scrappy little mini dachshund with a heart far bigger than her small frame. Over the years, she had become not just a pet, but a true member of the family. Her affectionate snuggles, her little squeaky bark, and her way of curling up at us in the bed had brought joy and comfort to everyone in the house. So when we learned she was expecting, we couldn't have been more excited. Daisy was about to bring new life into the world to five little puppies, all boys, each with a little bit of her feisty spirit. What should have been a joyful time quickly turned into a nightmare that we could have never have prepared for. It was a cold winter afternoon when Daisy started showing signs that something wasn't right. She was in pain, her breathing erratic, and she refused to eat. As the hours passed and her condition worsened, we made the decision to take her to the veterinarian. And we didn't know it then, but the hardest part of our journey was just about to begin. At the clinic, the veterinarian delivered the devastating news. Daisy's uterus had ruptured. The situation was dire. One of her puppies had pierced through her uterus and lodged in her abdomen, floating around, unable to be delivered naturally. Worse still, she had developed a full body infection that had begun to spread through all of her organs, leaving her with an alarmingly low chance of survival at 6%. They told us they needed to operate immediately. The surgery alone would cost £2,000, but the complications had only just begun. Daisy's condition was far more severe than anyone could have anticipated. The cost swiftly rocketed to over £3,500, but still a small price to pay to save our pet. So we had no choice but to trust the professionals to do their best and hope against hope that Daisy, our brave little girl, would pull through. We had to leave her at the clinic that night, a heart wrenching decision because Daisy had never been left alone before. She have had we begged for updates, but those were a few and far between. There were times when we went for hours without hearing a single word about her condition. The anxiety was absolutely crushing us. Every call was met with the hope that she was still holding on. Every hour without contact sent us spiraling into the dread. Daisy is family. We couldn't bear the thought of losing her, but we also couldn't stand the idea of her being so stressed, alone in a cage, surrounded by strangers. We knew stress was a killer for dogs recovering from surgery, and Daisy's anxiety was severe. The thought of her alone in a cage, with no familiar voices, no warmth of home, was the most unbearable part of it all. With each passing day, our hearts were torn between the overwhelming medical bills and the suffocating worry for Daisy's well being. We were at a crossroads, not knowing if we were doing the right thing for her, torn between the fear of what would happen if we brought her home too soon and the fear of what might happen if she stayed there longer. So we have made a decision of taking her home as she was not doing well. We have decided that if she was going to die, she was going to die at home and not alone in a cage. So we have made decision to collect Daisy against veterinarian advice as we felt in our guts that it would be the best for Daisy to come home. When we came to collect Daisy, she was under so much drugs she didn't seem to recognize us at all. But when we brought her home and put her in her cozy soft bed, Daisy showed sign of understanding where she is. And that was a lovely sign to see. She was ours. We could see the weariness in her eyes, the toll it had all taken on her, but there was something else there, the spark, a will to live, a strength that could only come from a survivor. Daisy was strong. She had thought through it all. Against all odds, she had survived the worst of the infection, and the vets were cautiously, very cautiously optimistic. They said she was ready to come home, but she would need careful monitoring, and we had to take things slow. She had been through so much, and the road to recovery would be very, very long. In the weeks that followed, Daisy slowly started to recover. The puppies sadly didn't make it, but the experience had taught us something invaluable about our little dog. She was a fighter. She had survived against all odds, and so had we, together as a family, supporting her in every way we could, no matter the cost. How lucky we were to have her back. She wasn't just a pet, she was a symbol of resilience, of the unbreakable bond between the family and the ones they love. Daisy may have been the survivor, but so were we, and our love for her had only grown stronger in the face of unimaginable fear.